Welcome to Bay Village, a residential enclave wedged between the public garden and the South End. Building started here in 1824 on Fayette Street, named after America's favorite fighting Frenchman, General Lafayette. Bay Village has always been home to artists and artisans. By the early 1900s, this was the center of the motion picture industry, with organizations such as Universal, Paramount, MGM, and Columbia all being based here. Many of the buildings have large metal boxes inside to store film, which is highly flammable.
Something that feels like Boston is something that is small scale. It fits within the context of a walking community. It feels contextual to the brick-adorned buildings that have been there for 100 years. The project is on two streets, actually. It's two different buildings. It's Arlington and Edgerly Place. And it's 4 townhomes between the two buildings.
One of the things about Bay Village that I really appreciate is that it is a really true kind of pure quintessential quality of retaining a lot of the 1800s Federalist style architecture, and it's been well kept. What we like to do is understand the neighborhood by absorbing the neighborhood. So we put it up on the wall, we praise it, we criticize it, we really get to learn about it. Even the imagery you see behind me is evidenced of, it's a balance of some of our work as well as other work here in the city. And so with this project, it was no different. There was a challenge to balance the dichotomy between the old and the new, and how do we create a respectful architecture that doesn't feel dated as if we're copying motifs or moments, but we are reflecting some of the scale, the proportionality, the use of material.
You don't have to walk far to realize Boston is a brick city. Bay Village was built and occupied largely by carpenters, housewrights, and masons that built Beacon Hill. Residents must have been enamored by the craftsmanship because in 1868, 450 buildings were lifted 18 feet to save them from flooding caused by the newly filled Back Bay and South End.
I built the project myself as a general contractor, and so a lot of the work there is finding skilled craftspeople. That's a lot of the process, is vetting those guys and finding confidence in them to execute on it.
It is a brick city. Yeah. One of the reasons why I became a mason, because the work that we do stays there for a very long time. That's a profession that you can do something and then eventually you can just drive by or you can just look at it, and it's part of the city now. Right away, I knew it was going to be a little bit challenging to do what the architect wanted to get done. The dimension was given on the plan, but where to start of that elevation, that was the most challenging for me. Older guys, they kind of know what kind of brick goes on which neighborhoods. I mean, the brick is just low maintenance. We go back to buildings. There was never, ever any maintenance besides us now after 100 years. You can't find that on anything else on the market.
Around 1910, the Boston and Providence Rail Terminal was demolished and the automobile began to grip the neighborhood. The plot at 130 to 134 Arlington Street became a parking garage known as the Armory. When urban renewal took over the neighborhood, this plot became a surface parking lot, which remained until Jonathan Lee and Company built what we now see today. And who doesn't love a good infill project?
Working in Boston over the years, you get to appreciate the nuances of what it means to be in Back Bay, what it means to be in the South End, what it means to be in Beacon Hill, and then to see Bay Village sort of having its own identity, but how it stitches into the larger fabric was really fascinating.
We like to bring housing to Boston, which needs plenty of it. Happy to bring what little we could. It's great to have been part of something to provide some homes for people and ones that people seem to appreciate. So yeah, we've got something that fits in well, I think, there.